everybody. Welcome. It is Friday again. I cannot believe this week has gone past this quickly. It's amazing. But I hope you have some good plans for the weekend. Welcome. And I am coming to you live from Nakhon Si Thammarat in the city of Kon, the south part of Thailand. Thank you guys for joining. And yes, I will be bringing you another story from Ashley, written behind the wall, as they would say. And I've been to see Ashley today. She is looking amazing, beautiful, and she seems content, and she's very happy to be able to continue with some Mandarin lessons. Since the last time, she said, was back in February, that she last had a lesson, and she was rather amazed that she was able to still remember a lot of phrases and such. So yes, and she's also extremely happy that she has now found some new friends. And yes, apparently these Chinese ladies have been moved from a town about 40 kilometers from where Ashley is, and after their cases have been settled now, unfortunately, it seems as if they will have to serve around about 16 years, but we trust that they will also have, receive some grace, and that they will get some time off on their sentences eventually as well. So yes, without further ado, I will start with today's story. And it is called The Visiting Room, and this is part 3. And Ashley wrote this story round about August 15, 2024, last year. The Visiting Room, part number 3. It is called Tired. I let out a delighted shriek upon hearing my name unannounced for the last visiting slot of the morning, and a little jump escapes me as I clasp my hands, just when I started to accept the fact that I probably have to wait another week to see my mom. Last week I wasn't prepared, seeing that the letters didn't reach me in time. Mom would always prepare me in advance through the letters when it seems she would not be able to make a visit, being it due to extreme weather conditions or another mission she sent on unexpectedly. But being the attentive mother that she is, she didn't fail to call, favor by God alone, since it's not the way things get done in prison. Glory be to God alone. So by noon, my mind was at peace, whereabouts, and safety. Gathering the books that I finished reading so that I can have it returned to her in order to receive a fresh batch. I fly down the 3 flights of stairs to go and get my visiting pass. Out we go. The only sound I hear is that of our flip-flops. Mine, a crisp clapping, and theirs, slop, slop. Here it is the norm to drag your feet as opposed not to. It's maddeningly irksome when they just can't get a move on. And in the Southern Thai dialect, I tell them to do just that. We finally reach the door, and there's yet another obstruction. Before being allowed to enter, a new set of orders are given. We're not to pick up the phone before everyone's family member is ready to speak. Prisoners are not to call. We let in. I instantly and she jumps in a way not unlike myself just a few minutes ago. She walks with me from the back of the room where she sat waiting. The two of us always separated by this barrier, and walks along awkwardly, and she needs to strain herself to keep in line with our snail pace. And still, the woman in front of me does not speed up. There's a battle of emotions going on within me. The felicity of seeing my mom, the fury of being subject to these rules and being amongst these people, and the constant need for fighting down my feelings of never-ending impatience. We sat down. There's one struggle on their side, and again it takes most of my self-control to keep myself from jumping up and shouting at him to just sit down and pick up the phone. At long last, I hear her voice. A quiet hello, and we close our eyes. I thank God for bringing her safely and ask for much needed patience and some added strength. As my mother continues in prayer, I realize that I'm clutching the phone. I relax my hold. I tell myself to calm down and be present. She says, Amen, and I repeat it, wondering if and why I was holding my breath. Look how pretty you are today, she says while looking at me as if she's not seen me for ages. I always try to look my best on visiting days, mindful that my outward appearance will not cause any extra maternal concern about my well-being. I, of course, compliment her as well on how nice and cheerful she looks in a mellow yellow. It's only when I ask how she is that I see the fleeting change of expression in her eyes as she answers a single word, tired, and reverts to her ebullient self. 14 hours. That's what it took for her to get here. And that's only the train ride. My eyes tear up and I stare at her blankly as she chatters on lively. And all we have is 20 minutes. And when it is done, she will return. Return to the train station. Return to the rental bike. Return to Bangkok. Another 14 hours. That makes a full day and some 3 or 5 hours over. What an emotional ordeal. And all we get is 20 minutes. 14 hours. That's how long I get locked up in a cell every day. I've been quiet because I've been tired. Can you see everything this word compromises? And my mother, she's tired too. And that includes a whole different list of things that mine does not. So you see, my eyes stared up out of compassion, because of appreciation, and with understanding. And it dried up in a placid stare because I am aware this is a fatigue that comes from incessant waiting. Sometimes the transition from my world inside to this little bubble I have here with my mother happens so quickly that I cannot fully make the switch from Thai to Afrikaans. and I stumble over my own words, mixing 3 languages as I try to express myself the best I can in the least amount of time. And before we know it, the bell goes off, indicating that our visit has come to an end. I start making movements to suggest departure, but do not actually put down the phone before we get to ramble the last few sentences to take our leave. And then the subtle but much more final sound, that of returning the phone to the receiver. Click. We stand facing each other, and as per habit that started on its own, we blow each other a kiss, air hug, and say one last I love you by bringing our hands up to our chest in the shape of a heart. A force outside of myself pulls me to the one side as my legs carry me into that direction while my head keeps facing the other. My mom, of course, doesn't leave until she's sure I've gone, and we keep on waving until the last minute. It's over as quickly as it began, and once she's out of sight, time gets dragged out again. Only this time, on my walk back, I'm no longer rushed nor impatient, but instead I stall whenever possible, trying to stay in close proximity with my mother for as long as I can, because even though I cannot see her face anymore, it's still a comfort knowing she's here. I return. It takes barely a minute. Sometimes during my short walk back, there's a hop in my step. Other times, I wring my hands, and every once in a while, I return red-eyed. But these days, I walk with something that could best be described as a feeling of numbness. And I wonder, how is it that I am still here? Love, Ashley. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and finally, I'm very happy to tell you guys that finally our writing system is back up and running again. So I have received the first 2 letters from Ashley this morning, which she wrote on June 26th. So slowly but surely, I'm assuming that the letters will get to us, and Ashley can start to write again. I can start to write again, and hopefully by next week, this time, we will be on par again. So yes, well, you must have an amazing weekend, guys, and thank you for all of your support once again. Enjoy whatever you do, and do it as unto the Lord. Bless you guys, and see you again next week, God willing.